Alright, today is May 13th, 2022. It is a Friday, and I think what I'm going to do today is plot some normal distributions. I think I'm just going to do random normal distributions. So this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. I'm going to import numpy as np. I'm going to import what happened. Import, actually, I'll do from SciPy import stats, and then run that, and then I'll do my x values. We go to np dot linspace, and let's say my y values are gonna be stats norm dot pdf. And they'll be of the x values with a mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 3, and then so then I'll do, if the mean is 50, then I maybe want to do like 30. Actually, I'll do what I had before. So the mean, which is 50, so I'll just set the mean is equal to 50 and move it over here. And I'll set the, this is supposed to be scale, and I'll set the variable std, so the standard deviation, so it's 3. And I'll do from the mean minus 3 times the standard deviation. And from the mean plus 3 times the standard deviation. Three times the standard deviation, and then I think that's fine. So I'll do plt.plot, and I'll do my x values and my y values, and hopefully they'll give me a normally distributed graph. Okay, see, perfect. Now I'm going to do plt title, and I'm going to give it normal distribution with mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 3, and that should pop up there. And then I'm going to plot another one. I'm going to do the standard normal distribution. So I'm going to do my x values are going to be np.linspace. So my start point is going to be the same thing. It's going to be the mean minus 3 times the standard deviation. Endpoint is going to be the mean plus 3 times the standard deviation. And then I want 1,000 values in here. Actually, I didn't even give it 1,000 values. I just gave it, what if I did give it 1,000 values? Same thing, right? Yeah. That's not gonna give me anything. So y values equal to stats.norm.pdf. And then in here, we're gonna do x values with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1, which is our standard normal distribution. And then I'm going to do plt.plot, and I'm going to do x values, and I'm going to plot the y values, and then it should give us a standard normal distribution if I had spelled that correctly. Okay, that is really bad. So let's see what we had done wrong. So if it starts at 0, and it's because we haven't set the mean. So mean is equal to 0, and well, what is that? And then standard deviation is equal to 1. So I'll actually change this to mean, and I'll change this to standard deviation, and it should give us a normal distributive graph. And then I'll also do plt.title, and I'll do standard normal distribution with a mean of 0, standard deviation of 1. Now, what if I want to plot both of these graphs in the same kind of figure, like next to each other? Well, the way I would do that is I would do plt dot subplots, and I'm going to say, okay, how many rows do I want in this figure? I want 1 row. How many columns do I want in this figure? I want 2 because I have 2 graphs, so number of columns. And then I'm going to give the fig size of, let's say, I'll give it a length of 10, no, a width of 10 and a length of 8, and we'll see how that goes. And if I run this, you're going to see that it's going to return a figure with 2 axes. So a figure, right, with the size, that's the fig size, with 2 axes. So you could even see right here it's returned. And I'm actually going to change the fig size to be maybe 10.5, to be kind of like that, maybe 12.5. Yeah, kind of like this, right? And these are 2 graphs, but notice that we want to make to basically push these graphs inside this figure. And how do we do that? Well, very easy. So we go, first of all, we want to set some variables. So I'm going to say figure. I'm also going to do ax1 for graph 1. I'm actually going to change it to graph 1. And I'll do graph 2, and then set that equal to that. And so this parenthesis here represents 1 row, and then the ones on the outside is just for syntax to put everything together. So I'll do graph1.plot, and instead of, because we can't do plt.plot and there's not like an SNS function we can do, so it's just basically we're plotting these right here. So I'm just gonna take, let me see, this thing doesn't want to, if this thing wants to unfreeze, that would be great. I'm gonna take these conditions that I set up above over here. What happened? Okay, I'm just gonna take these, I'm gonna put them here. So I'm gonna say conditions for graph 1, put them over here. Okay, and then I'm going to say plotting, whoa, what happened? Plotting graph 1, and so I'll just do the same thing, x values, y values, right? And then if we run that, we should see it in, what now? Invalid syntax. It is graph 1, is it not? Graph 1, is it axes? No, it should be graph 1 though. Graph 1, graph 2, x values, y values, and we're plotting. So what is the issue? Dot plot, if I do axes, what if I do x1, and then turn this to x1? That's not x1, that's, what even is that? Okay, let's see what we can do here. I think we did day 297. What is the issue here? So, see, I did ax2.plot. That's exactly what I did. Oh, because I didn't have parentheses in the big. Oh, maybe that's my mistake. Let me see. Maybe it's because I have these parentheses here. I guess maybe if this is the problem, and if I delete these parentheses, it still doesn't work. So it's not that problem. So what is the problem? Because this is exactly what I did. I did ax2, subplots, unrows, fig size, figure, right? Is it because I didn't set the other function? You know what? Let me write this here. Conditions for graph 2, which are these. And then plotting graph 2, which is basically this, but instead it's like graph 2. What is wrong with this thing? subplots, plt.subplots. Well, that definitely does work. But then what's wrong with this thing? Is it because I don't have these? Interesting. What did I do wrong? Search Stack Overflow. Yeah, well, that's not gonna help. Never mind. Because it's like not detailed enough. Okay, if I go back up to day 297, I can see import Matplotlib. Okay, this is what we have. I don't have this, but I don't need that. I did do this one, but I don't need it. I want this one, the second graph, right? The one that's the plot. See, this is what I have. Interesting. That's exactly what I have. So if I were to just copy this code, I don't understand what the difference would be. Is it this? I kid you not, I have no idea. One space. And if I were to do paste that, and I were to just change the, like all of this, honestly, just, no, I want the conditions, never mind. Oh, I never closed the parenthesis here. So that means I didn't, okay. Are you kidding me? That was the problem? Okay, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I just forgot to close the parenthesis here. Over here, okay. So now you can see the two normally distributed graphs, and in order to, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do graph 2, so everything is nice and formal here. Okay, and then to give it a title, instead of plt.title, we actually do graph2.setTitle. And I'm just going to copy the title that I had right up here. And I'm actually, before I do that, I'm going to do it over here as well for graph 1. So let me get the title over here. So this is, I actually want, whoops. Okay, let me put that in the middle. Normal distribution. Standard, what did I do? Honestly, like, what did I do? Okay, over here. Run that, but I want them to be switched though. So standard normal distribution, blah blah blah. Okay, great. Let's see. I want to switch them, so I will switch them. Just move that over here and just change this to graph 1, and then change this to graph 2, and that should change the positions of each. Because I want the standard normal to be first, because it makes sense, because it's the standard one. What happened? Okay, I need to run it now. So run it. What is that? What did I do? Tell me, what did I do now? Set 50? What did I do? Graph 1, graph 1, graph 1, graph 2. Is there anywhere else where I have the graphs? Why is there... What? Interesting. From graph 2. What did I do wrong now? Like, why can't this thing just be normal? Okay, let me run this. It doesn't matter, honestly. Okay, here are 2 graphs. So that's what it's looking like. Now bye.